Sometimes, when you're considering a new opportunity, job role, or career path for its suitability, it can be a little confusing to figure out the factors that you might need to consider in the first place. What factors are involved? How can you figure out which factors are most important to you? And how can this support your decision making process using the DOTS model? Well, when we're considering what our version of success is and what will make us feel happy and content at work, we're aiming to find an environment that will help us to flourish and to thrive. In this context, flourish stands for friends, location, occupation, usual work environment, relatives, income, spare time, and health. This list isn't exhaustive, but rather prompts us to consider some key areas within decision making. Take a moment to grab a pen and paper and we'll work through it together. I'm going to read each element of flourish aloud in turn, and I'd like you to give it a score according to its importance to you, 1 being least important and 10 being most important. The first element is friends. This could be what your friends think or where they are located in the country, in closeness and proximity to you. How important are your friends in your decision-making process? The second is location. So how important is location to you? 1 could be, I don't care where I live, as long as I'm enjoying the work that I'm doing. 10 could be, I want to live in York and nowhere else. So how important is location to you? Scored between 1 and 10. The next factor is occupation, job title, or level of authority. So how important is a particular job, or specialism, or authority to you within the workplace? So 1 could be, I don't really care what my job title is or what I'm doing, as long as I enjoy it. And 10 could be, it's most important to me. I want to be the person that Radio 4 contacts when they're looking for an expert to talk on a particular area. So how important is a particular occupation, job title, or having that authority to you? The next one is usual work environment. So how important is that to you, having a particular environment that you work in? 1 could be, I don't mind where I work. 10 could be, I really like working from home or prefer to do remote working. Or I want to be in an office. Or potentially, I want to be outside or in a laboratory. So a very specific area. How important is that work environment to you? The next factor is relatives. So how important is what your relatives think about your career? Or how important is where your relatives live in proximity to you? 1 being least important, 10 being most important. The next factor is income. So how important is income to you? 1 being, I don't care how much I earn as long as I enjoy the job that I'm doing. And 10 being, I want to earn £45,000 as quickly as possible. So how important is that? The next factor is spare time. So how important is spare time to you as part of your career and decision making? 1 would be, I don't really care about spare time as long as I'm enjoying the work that I'm doing. 10 would be, I value my spare time. Spare time is important. I want a regular shift pattern where that allows me to have spare time. And the final factor is health. So this also includes mental health. So how important is this to you? 1 could be, I don't really care about the hours of work as long as I'm doing this particular thing or as long as I enjoy it. And 10 would be, there is a consideration for my health. So for example, if you have a disability or a mental health consideration, that could be a 10. So if you've scored any of these areas between 7 and 10, these factors could be most important and least negotiable during the decision-making process. If you've scored any areas between 1 and say 3, these are the least important to us and are areas that we can be really flexible on. If you've given a score of between 4 and 6, these are your middle of the road negotiables and could be flexible within these areas for the right position. Flourish can be used quite broadly to initiate that top level thinking about what your version of success could be. It's complemented by taking the time to consider your skills, perhaps with a skills audit, and recognising what your own values are as an individual. So, what happens if there's a particular role within a particular organisation that you're interested in applying for, but you're not sure whether it could be a good fit for you? Well, that's where Thrive comes in. Thrive stands for Training and Development Opportunities, Hours You'll Work, Responsibilities of this role in particular, Institutional Culture, Values and Vision, and Employee Feedback, or what current employees think about that particular organisation, about their experiences. When you've identified a particular opportunity that you're interested in applying for, consider taking the time to decide which areas of Thrive are most important to you, and undertake some research into each area. Every role within every organisation will approach the Thrive principles in slightly different ways. So take your time, figure out what's most important to you, and decide whether the role is ultimately going to give you what you want.